Who you are, where you are, who you are with your title.
Yeah. No, I won't. No, I won't do like a Netflix series or anything. So I am Jade Joyce, and I'm here at Southgate Stables, assistant trainer to Lemos de Souza.
And perhaps mention why we've got a friend here.
Yeah, we've got Asphora here, who is obviously staying with us while she's here for her campaign over in England and Ireland and maybe France. I think she's used to all the cameras arriving for her, so she's maybe a bit confused as to why nobody's paying her any attention.
So my name is Sienna Anderson. I'm from South East London and I work full-time for Charlie Fellows.
And Sienna, when did you first get involved with horse racing? Because are you 18?
I'm 18, yes. I'd say it was quite late. I'd always loved horses and loved racing and watching it, but my family weren't horsey. So I probably got into race riding, on the Riding a Dream Academy when I was 13, 14, and had no experience with race horses at all. So that was my first proper experience with racing, was on the Riding a Dream Academy.
How did you first get involved with racing, Dave?
So I grew up very close family friends with Amy and her family. So from when I was very young, Amy's dad had national hunt horses in training, so I used to go racing with them, spectating quite often, which obviously sparked a massive interest and a love for the sport and horses. And I was lucky enough to have horses when I was young to do show jumping and pony club and things like that. So.
And you went to college to study what?
I went to Hartbury and studied equine science because originally I wanted to be a horse physiotherapist, but it's quite a lengthy process. I think it was 4 years of uni to study anatomy and then another 2 years after that to then go into the physio side of things. And kind of at the end of the 4 years I was a bit sick of school, so decided to get a job in the industry. And then it's always something to kind of go back to if I'd like. Come here, you can be a part of it here. You don't need to eat the camera.
Can you remember your first day working here?
I can, very vaguely.
You came from the racing school, is that right?
Yeah, this was my first job after a 12-week course, foundation course at the racing school, and I came straight here, and yeah, I've been here ever since.
And what was it like? Have you been, because you might have placements at the school, didn't you? So
Yeah,
is this a placement?
So I'd put like a wish list of a few yards that I'd be interested in going to, but this was kind of at the top of my list, and I came down one evening to have a look around, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to go there. And then my first day I knew what to expect, because obviously you do the racing school and that's the closest it gets, but I think actually going out onto the heath and seeing like how busy and huge it is just, you can't prepare someone for that. It's something that you have to experience.
I started working here 5 years ago. Once I left uni, I worked at a place called Longholes, which is just outside of town. It's a breaking and pre-training yard that was owned by Sheikh Farhad at the time. He doesn't own it anymore, but I kind of went there because of the rehab side of things there. I thought I would be able to apply kind of what I'd learned already into, kind of how in like a training kind of sense. So coming back from injury and things like that, with using the equine spar and the water treadmill and treadmill training and then they did the pre-training side of things, which is where that kind of sparked a love for that. For me, was working with young horses and seeing them progress and develop from horses that come in kind of not knowing anything, and then when they leave you, they're ridden away and behaving like racehorses.
What's the hardest part of the job that people outside might not expect?
I'd say I mean, there's the early mornings and there's the late nights and things like that, but I'd say, for a lot of the people moving for the first time away from home, we are very young when we do move, and as much as we're moving to do what we love, it's quite daunting because you're almost packing up everything, leaving your whole life, your family, to come up here, which is just so different to anything I was ever used to. This was just a completely different world. So that I found that quite challenging about the job. The homesickness came in phases.
Yeah.
And also the love you have for the horses. You want them to do well, and you get so attached to them.
So what was the plan when you first arrived here? Did you have a 5-year plan?
I think, to be honest, because I kind of had only ever ridden normal horses, not race horses, I just wanted to learn. Can you get out? The dream for me was to learn to ride out properly, kind of thing. But since obviously doing that, I kind of now want to progress in the industry and maybe eventually have my own pre-training business. And as well, I love the young horse side of things, like seeing them kind of progress and at their very early stages in their career and in life. So yeah, I think that's kind of why I'd steer more towards pre-training.
And do you feel supported by the industry when things get tough?
Yes, I mean, I've had my challenges along the way, and I know there is people that I can speak to, but I think that, again, with the young people moving away from home, the housing that there is accessible, and finding houses for people, when you're under 18, a lot of places won't take you, and that's where it kind of lacks the support, in the sense that, where are these people that are coming up 16, 17 meant to go, and they're searching for places that just won't take them. So I think that there is support there, but
Should be more.
yeah, there can be more.
What about horses? Do you have a favourite horse? What makes them special?
I think they're all special in their own right. They have personalities. Not every horse is the same. They're all different, have different quirks and personality traits. And my favourite horse was a horse called Magical Morning, who Amy purchased out of a hit sale from John Gosden's to go to Dubai for an owner, and he was just the best thing ever, the funniest horse to deal with. And because I took him over to Dubai for the winter carnival there, we kind of built up a very close bond, because it was only he and I a lot of the time, and we got to know each other very well. But yeah, he was probably one of my favourites that I've dealt with so far.
What makes them special then? It's just a personality thing?
Yeah, I think just a personality thing, and kind of they're all it's like therapy, I think, for some people, kind of dealing with horses, because they're very calm animals and they can be a bit of an escape from everything else.
What about this one?
This one here, as you can see, big personality. Don't curl your lip at me. Big personality, likes to be centre of attention, very inquisitive.
Do you have a favourite horse you work with? What makes them so special?
I do. So my favourite horse is called Maui Breeze. She is a 3-year-old filly, and I rode her on one of my first days, and I loved her straight away. I loved her look anyway, without even riding her. I just thought she was stunning. And then I kind of started riding her and just got stuck with her, really. Rode her every day and did all our firsts together. My first was her first, and it was just, I feel like your first racehorse that you love will stick with you for a long time, and that's how it's worked with me. Yeah,
I think generally, from a management point of view, they are obviously they're not machines, they are living beings, and to make sure that they are on song and 100% in themselves all the time can take a lot of management, and you kind of really have to be on the ball and notice every little thing, if they've left a bit of dinner, if they look a bit down in themselves, you really have to get to know them to know what's normal for them, and things like for example, one day we had a filly that was in training with Amy, and she hurt herself behind, but we couldn't. We had to basically sit up through the night with her because the vet said that she couldn't lie down, so she was on 24-hour watch. Oh, this one doesn't look on there. Sorry, Josh. And it can be quite relentless through the winter months. Obviously, it's great to enjoy, and it's lovely to be outside, working outside through the summer, but really in the winter it's so grueling. Like, it's 1 degree, sleet, it's freezing, you've got 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing at you, and you know you can't stop because you can't just switch them off and go home. That would be the only kind of grueling side of the job, I think, just working in those kind of conditions. But
you get used to it.
Yeah,
you
do.
Do you get used to it?
Yeah, I think you do. Like, you kind of toughen up to it. You kind of just think, right, we've just got to get on with it. Like, they come first at the end of the day.
You know what, I think these horses, you know, they're like second to, you know,
Well looked after.
yeah, very well looked after, top class care. It's you know, I think it's very there's a massive misconception about the care of racehorses, and it's just each individual one has their own care, and there's someone that loves them and adores them and treats them like their own, you know. So I think there is a massive misconception about that.
Sure. Is it hard for young people to make their voices heard in this industry?
Do you know what I think? I think because it's such a big industry and it's very, you know, we've seen the change coming through the industry as the years goes on. You know, there's more women, there's more people of colour coming through. But I think because it's been so stuck in its ways for such a long time, it's almost like you join and feel a sense of, right, this is how it works and that's how it's going to be, if that makes sense. So, you know, there are lots of people out there willing to support you and hearing your voice. It's almost having the courage to do it. That's the biggest challenge, actually standing up. And it's not going to take one person to make change. It's going to take a village of people to make change. So it's just, you know.
Do you think you're tougher as a person?
Definitely,
now?
I think, yeah, that working kind of in this industry, it makes you tough.
Yeah.
It makes
You're
you quite
resilient.
resilient
You
to things.
mentioned
Yeah,
resilient,
it makes you very resilient to things, to like, you know, because one day you might ride a horse, you get on absolutely fine, and you think, oh, that was a great ride, whatever, and then the next day you have no control. Like, just, you know, it's just kind of, you kind of have to not think, oh my god, what did I do wrong, kind of thing. It's just, that's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I you know, I'm on social media, I'm on Instagram and things like that, and when I did the Magnolia Cup, that was a massive, like, part of being able to fundraise for the King's Trust International. And without this, you know, the social media and the interviews, I wouldn't have got the support that I needed to raise the money. So I think social media played a massive part in my
Going
journey
on
so
from
far.
that, what would you say to someone watching your videos who follow your posts, who wants to work in this?
I'd say, you know, it's very easy on social media to post just the good parts. I'd say that it's not as glamorous as it can seem on social media, but at the same time, the things I post, I try and post my happiest moments and the things that, you know, the milestones and things like that. So it's great when you know, experience those moments, but there are days that are hard and you sit back and you think, I can't do this and things like that, but you just go for it. Like, it's the best thing I ever did, and I left home and thought, oh my god, what am I doing? But, you know, you've got everything to gain and nothing to lose, really. So
how old were you when you came to Newmarket?
I was 16.
You were 16?
Yeah, when I moved to Newmarket, yeah.
Before, it was a bit more physical, you know, I was driving maybe like and doing 12-hour days, going racing leading up, and then you get back at 12, you then come in at 7 and you're repacking and you're going off again. But I think an assistant's role there's a lot more to think about and there's a lot more to manage, whereas driving, you're just managing the horse box and what you're doing that day, kind of thing.
So it's gone up like twice as hard, twice as many things to do?
I think there's a lot more to do,
Yeah.
but it's just being organised is kind of what I've learned. You just need to kind of get on top of things before the last minute.
Do you feel racing offers real opportunities for young people of your age?
I mean, I've been very lucky to have been able to be given the opportunity to do the Magnolia Cup, and
Which is a race you were in a few weeks ago.
Yes, exactly, and that was an experience that a few years ago I would have laughed at someone that told me I'd be doing that. So I was quite lucky to be able to do that and do well, but I did, and I think it's it's hard. It's work that I put in as well. I worked hard to be able to do that, and I put myself forward and was willing to go through all the fitness and things like that. So I think if you work hard and you make yourself known to be someone that wants the opportunity and doesn't settle for just what they're doing, I always strive for more. There is opportunity out there. You just have to find the people that are willing to give it to you.
So has management come easily to you?
I don't mind it. Hopefully the people that I'm managing think that I'm a nice manager. Try to be fair and be kind and whatever. It's a hard job, so you kind of have to understand people have good days and bad days and not to take it personally, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I quite like being in a managerial role. I think I do it well enough.
Okay.
Maybe we could ask Lemos if I do it well enough.
Okay, well I won't do that.
No. You'd probably get a very rude answer.
Okay. All right.
Finally, what's your biggest dream for your future?
I did say riding a race, but I've done the Magnolia Cup now. I'm kind of weighing up my options at the moment. I'd love to go into more media, TV work and things like that. I'd love to ride in more races, so possibly a licence would be on the cards. But I think just having an impact on people that I know were in the position that I was in and weren't sure, was very on the fence and scared to do it. If the interviews I've done and the videos I've made can touch just one person, that's like a win for me.
Brilliant.
That would make me happy. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
It's okay, no worries. Thank you guys.